stopped being spoken as a result of colonization, the gold rush, the Spanish missions. And I have a lot of my favorite people in this room. Leanne Hinton, who is back here somewhere, who is a linguist at Cal, who has taught me it's possible to reawaken these words and to make our languages useful and to bring them into the modern world. My friend, who also is my boss, Malcolm, I work at Heyday Books, who's taught me that nothing is impossible if you have an imagination, and that I always use his phrase, the rivers of beauty that flow throughout our imagination lead us into great places. Also my partner, Louis Trevino, who is Ohlone as well, who is the only person who I can gossip with in an Ohlone language. So thank you. And Desiree Munoz, who is also Ohlone as well, Rumson Ohlone from the Monterey area. I wanted to, I don't have that much time, so I wanted to read a small piece, and I am a millennial, so I'm going to read it off my iPhone. But I wrote a piece with Malcolm in a book that we published at Heyday called East Bay Wonderments, and it's based upon the beauty of the East Bay and things that make the East Bay such a wonderful and dynamic, unique and magical place. And the article, it's called The East Bay, Where Giants Roam and Gravity is Defied. And it's about some of the drama with language reawakening, with language revitalization, and some of the things that my family's gone through and in order to be where we're at today. So it starts off, our language almost vanished from this earth. In 1929, in the midst of this tragedy, an aging man living in the deep brown canyons of Sinol named Jose Guzman proclaimed with defiance, Gana akwetak yuwatak nadwente. As for me, I am not going to stop speaking, ever. He, along with the elderly Maria de Los Angeles Colos, worked frantically to record, speak, and protect their language called Chochenyo. The language spoken in the East Bay since a time immemorial, but was on the brink of death, on the edge of eternal rest, on the precipice of never being used again. What a world that must have been. I can only imagine what they went through, but my heart begins to ache at the thought. These people, my elders, my heroes, made an inherent and conscious decision to keep speaking Chochenyo and to fight against time as if they were defying gravity. They knew they were the only ones who could protect our language, and they lunged, ducked, and leapt over all the hurdles of reality in order to keep the flicker of light that kept Chochenyo alive from moving into ashes and into darkness. Angela and Jose were not going out without a fight. Yellow parchment papers became full of frantic scribbles, sharing the humanity of heartbreak, family histories, gossip, lore, and stories that stretched back before the beginning of time, described with such a familiarity as if they happened yesterday. Tales of a time when giants roamed the earth, when Coyote left his footprints. Bodies of stone were defeated in the underworld over in Livermore, and songs were sung about Mount Diablo and Mission Peak. Don't forget this, I imagine them saying to me. Don't give up on this, because we didn't. Oh, glorious fighters, stubborn ancestors, people of defiance, people of wisdom, you gravity breakers. Today, as a result of your refusal to surrender our language, we as modern Ohlone people can speak the words once again. Because of those scribbles on parchment paper, the land hears Chochenyo a second time. It has been with us inside all along, and the words caress us like a grandmother. They comfort us like a song, and they bring us dignity and connect us to the East Bay, this place that we love, our only home. My elders, my heroes, you saved us. You saved us from ever being forgotten, and we will not relinquish or we will never forget our language or our identities. For us, we thrive in the footsteps of giants. Thank you. I would like to say, my grandmother, she She was a librarian, or she is. She's still alive. She retired, and she was a librarian at UC Berkeley, and she was also a member of the Berkeley Co-op too. So, and so she, right before she retired, there's at Ohlone Park. There's a mural, and on that mural, there's my family that's painted on it. My cousins and my aunts, my grandmother, these people I'm talking about. And I remember that she wanted to see this mural so bad that right before she was heading to this dinner with the chancellor of UC Berkeley for the retirement party, she made a decision. She said, "I'm going to be late because I want to see this mural." And she saw it, and I'll never forget her face. And she had tears in her eyes, and she said, "That's your Nana. That's your aunt. That's your uncle." She said, "Look at these people." She said, "These are your heroes. These are the people that you'll never forget." To end, I wanted to ask I know we're short, but just for maybe 2 more minutes, my friend Desiree, who's from Ohlone, to sing an Ohlone song that shows how we're modern people. We're linked to this ancient place, but we care just as much as those people before us did. So Desiree, if you want to introduce yourself.
Mr. Stuk, Ka'ikarak Desiree, Kaha Ohlone, Kaha Masisamane. I just said, good day everybody, my name is Desiree, I'm from Ohlone, and I'm just proud to be here, and I'm proud that my cousin Lewis is here too as well in the back. It was a fight to get up here, I just want to say. And I wanted to say that I'm 23 years old, I'm a park ranger at the National Parks for Golden Gate at the Presidio, so you can catch one of my tours there. And I'm gonna, just a shout out, just saying. And I wanted to share with you one of our songs. And this is actually a baby bear song, and it's actually a song that I sing to kids at libraries just to show them that they're little ones and that they can pass it on to their kids. So it goes like this. Mani o, mani o, mani o, naze, naguse, naguse, naze, naguse, 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 naze, nakuse, my oh, my oh, my oh, naze, nakuse, nakuse, naze, nakuse, 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 naze, nakuse, my oh, my oh, my oh, naze. Oh, da-da-da. And it sounds a little bit better with the clappers too, but I've tried.
So there was somebody that came to work for me about 3 years ago named Lindsay to run our California Indian projects. And after she'd been there for about 6 months, I said, "Lindsay, is there anything you would like?" And she says, "Yes, there's one thing I would like." And I said, "What's that?" She says, "To get through one day in this damn place without breaking into tears." So Ishmael Reed, and Ish is a novelist, Mumbo Jumbo, and various other novels. He's a writer. But I really so value what he's done for other publishers, for other writers.
Other publishers, you're right.
Yeah, other writers.
It's very necessary, except for terrorists.
I was invited here by Malcolm, and when he tells you to show up somewhere, you can't refuse. How many people here from the Y? Raise your hands. Great. Okay.
YMCA.
The YMCA, I'm sorry. Is there another why? I come from a book writing family. My latest book was published last week in Canada. It's called The Complete Muhammad Ali.
Oh, you finished it.
Number 2 boxing bestseller in Canada, number 3 here about boxing. So if you want to know everything about Muhammad Ali, get this book. My daughter's here. She's got her memoirs out. Spell Albuquerque. My spouse couldn't make it, but she has a book on 2 early feminist architects from the 1900s, Louise Bethune and Mother Joseph, who was a nun, who went to mining camps to raise money for her buildings. Went around with a hammer. She's a tall woman, so, you know, she can take me back talk from contractors. The city, the Oakland Express said that I really don't even live in Berkeley, but I spent a lot of time here. I was a former chair of the Berkeley Arts Commission. I taught at the university for 35 years. So I paid my dues. I lived on Edith Street, I lived on James Street, I lived all over the Berkeley Hills, Red Hart Way. And I've paid, you know, I've been here. I want to tell you that, Al Young knows this, that in minority literature, there's such a thing as one-at-a-timeism. So every 20 years, we get a new token. People find it hard to believe that there were a number of good writers in the 1960s who were just as good as James Baldwin. James Baldwin had the patronage, and the other writers made the establishment feel uncomfortable. And I want to talk about the late John A. Williams, who died a couple of weeks ago, who challenged the myth of the greatest generation, who pointed out that German prisoners were treated better than black soldiers in the South. Germany got a good deal after the war. As a matter of fact, in the 1953 London Conference, the Allies wrote off 50% of their debt. Good deal. And so, even today, we have maybe 2 or 3 women writers. I can tell you, and Al can tell you, because we do a lot of manuscripts, that there are a number of black women writers you've never heard of who are just as good. So in order to break out this pattern, 24 years ago, I started studying different languages, African, Asian. And out of that, I got a couple of trips to Japan. I wrote a novel called Japanese by Spring, and which has become a national project in China. I just got back from China, where they did a play of mine that was censored here. How do you like that for a turn? But more of an opportunity to get my plays and work done in a communist country than here, right? It just shows the democracy. And as a matter of fact, I left China a few weeks ago, and they're going to translate all of my works. So I come back home, and if I talk about my experience in the United States, I'm called paranoid and politically correct. So today, I had a little piece in the Times challenging this new myth about Alexander Hamilton. They've already made Andrew Jackson, who's like the Eichmann of Native America, and just sort of like a rock and roll star. And now we have Hamilton as a hip hop star. And you know, we have blacks who collaborate with anything because they want to make some money too, especially this millennial generation. They're out for cash. So I pointed out that, and I read Ron Chernow's book on Hamilton, and he conveniently left out the fact that Hamilton was a slave trader. So I happened to mention that. And what did I get from the blogs and the commentaries? Politically correct and paranoia. Now, coming to Berkeley, when people who are even some of the most enlightened and intellectually gifted talk about their experience with racism in Berkeley, they get called the same thing. So Judy Juanita, who's a novelist, talked about her experience with the Berkeley rep, where she felt that she was treated disrespectfully because of her race. The commentary that East Bay Express said it was hogwash. You're not experiencing what you're experiencing, and it was all made up. Well, I had the same experience at the Berkeley rep in the 1990s, where I went to see a play by, which starred one of my friends, Bonnie Burroughs. She invited me there. And some black kid followed me around, asked me hostile questions, and just shadowed me throughout the time I was in the lobby, even to the time when I went upstairs to talk to Bonnie. This is an experience I had, and I didn't make it up or anything. So what they found now,
the ingenious way that racism operates. I'm reading about the British occupation of India right now. And the way that the colonialists scheme behind the scenes to partition people, divide class against class, or race against race, or religion against religion. So now what they have is someone who resembles you designated as a person who does the racial profiling. I have how many minutes? You want me to get up? I have 5 minutes? I know, they told me that at the beginning, I have 5 minutes. But anyway, pardon me? There have been some other reports of racial profiling in Berkeley. There was a comedian, Cromwell Bell, I think his name was, where he was talking to his wife, and Elmwood is particularly a College Avenue region is a place where blacks are really quarantined up there. I said it's like being on a freedom ride going from my home over to College Avenue. But anyway, Cromwell Bell said he was told to scram or get out of the way, or they thought he was a homeless person or a schizophrenic person or whatever. And he complained about that. And the Berkeley Planet, people wrote in and said, well, you're making things up. You're being politically correct. And this didn't happen to you. Well, not the Berkeley Planet? Well, one of the news. Yeah, it's Berkeley Planet.
Side. No, they don't get.
They got a blog.
No, it's Berkeley side. Doesn't matter.
Okay. I'm gonna get the red pencil here. But anyway, I had an experience like that. I approached this woman in a place where women go get their knees waxed or legs waxed. And the woman said, well, is he bothering you? I said, I've been bothering this woman for 45 years. It's my wife. So I'm not just singling out Berkeley, because it's happening in New York. I have to commute to New York often, and it's happening there. It's happening all over. So I think there's a zone now where, it's like maybe Johannesburg tennis court before Mandela or something. It's happening around the country. Now I want to say something positive.
No kidding.
First of all, well, I mean, don't you want some to counter some of his polyamorous?
Yeah.
I want to say something positive about Berkeley. First of all, I attended a conference a couple of months ago in Switzerland, in France, as a matter of fact, the conference in France, where Berkeley was designated as a place where multiculturalism begins. And Al Young and I had something to do with that. We had a magazine called Yardbird Reader. We published a lot of people, Asian Americans, Hispanics, and others. And there's a book called Who We Be by Jeff Chaz. We've been making the circuit about multiculturalism originating here in Berkeley.